Time to come on back out to Turkey Creek. We're working at the Native Plant Nursery, trying to get ready for the native plant sale. Here's what it's like to learn how to plant a bare root oak tree. Come join
us.
us.
A little different from some of the round pots, so tall and narrow. These particular ones, we will be able to fit 9 in one of these together. So each pot will get a tree, and then we'll have 9 total inside of these little carrying cases.
Good.
We are doing a soil mix that should be fairly light and good drainage as well to help one, make these lighter, but also help the trees kind of promote root growth as well, which is what I really like about these pots. They have these inside grooves, nice and long, so instead of it trying to go out and maybe circling the pot, those roots are going to hit those grooves and go straight down, creating a really nice deep root system, which is really good for most of these trees. And if you're planting one of these versus planting something like this, you don't have to dig your hole quite as large and still get the same kind of benefit of planting your tree. So another benefit of especially those that we want to get to cool green trees. So I've got a few different options. So I bought a whole bunch of these, and I've got some really large ones. I think our large ones are going to be too big for these trees at the moment. And then here in stock, we had some smaller ones as well. So these will be perfect for some of the smaller oaks that we've got over there as well. And then if we need more, I can always order more of these as well. So, and we can essentially get 25 of these in a similar size container. So once those are potted, we are going to put them over here so they can go with the other trees and shrubs kind of under the irrigation. So if we can get a team that wants to do some cleaning and organizing of the trees and shrubs over here, and we get a team over here starting some of the potting work as well. We can break it up into half and half, and that should get us started. And these are also going to go in the 308s, or the little 3-inch by 8-inch pots. So yeah, if you'll bring those over.
Group potted.
So basically, I bought a bunch of bare root trees, and I just threw them all in one pot and then put some soil mix right around them. So
you did that last fall? Is that when you bought
I did this just like a couple weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, they're just a bunch of trees. Yeah, so now our root systems are still moist. We're still bare rooting them again, which, you know, in the dormant season is not a problem at all. Some of these got a little funky.
Yeah.
It shouldn't matter too much, but we will kind of do that one, something like that last. You know, something like that is nice, even if they're a little kind of off-centered versus a really straight one. Shouldn't matter as much. So this particular one, I'd probably wait about as well, just because it's kind of points to the side, and if we get it in the pot, it's gonna do something a little funky. So we'll select our better ones first. So pretty much all of these. There's one that's still got the acorn on it.
Wow.
These are Burr Oak. I don't know if I said that before.
Burr
So
Oak.
we
I
need
don't know what Burr Oak is.
B-U-R-R.
Oh, I've never heard of that one.
B-U-R-R.
Is it a red or a white?
It is part of the. I think it's part of the white.
Part of the white
group.
oaks?
I have to look it up now because
Burr-
I can't remember
Burr
off the top of my head. It's named because of its acorn. Has kind of a burly appearance, burring kind of on the acorn cap. So really good species for a lot of different variety of habitats, especially good for like tree planting. So it's one that we really like to use for this Cool Green Trees project as well. It can grow in dry and wet habitats. It actually, as per oaks goes, it can absorb more stormwater per oak than any other oak species can as well.
Really?
So it's really nice on those like
Yeah.
super flooding type areas,
Cool.
city streets, sidewalks, that sort of thing. So
Is that typical of oak, or is that this specific bird?
this very specific tree. So we've got oaks that grow well in wet habitats and ones that grow well in dry habitats, and some that kind of vice versa, kind of a medium soil.
Oh, I didn't know that. What about water oak? Is that one of the same
water
situation
oak's one of
as
those
the Burr?
that does really well in wet soils.
I've never thought about
named
it.
as water oak. Same for
Louisiana's
willow oaks.
full of them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Jefferson County. That I always think the water oak is the oak of Jefferson County. I think we've got more water oak than any other oak species here.
Okay.
But as we know, oak species are great as a host for a lot of different caterpillars of butterflies and moths, somewhere between 200 to 500 species, which those moths then are, the base food web of a lot of different other species of birds and mammals and lots of wildlife. So, and of course they do produce acorns, which are good for turkey, deer, and that sort of thing too once they're mature. These are relatively young, of course. I think these are probably a year old, maybe a year and a half, something like that too. They were bare rooted, so we do see, some of these long tap roots that have been cut, which is fairly typical in that nursery, that trade that does bare root type trees. So they plant them in a field. They have a harvester go under and basically cuts and pulls up the little trees.
So you mean right here at the bottom?
So yeah, we see kind of that little cut at the bottom. Typically it does not matter as much for that, because it's going to, set, it'll continue to grow that taproot and then grow these fibrous roots around it to really establish the tree itself. And then so with our smaller pots here, once we get our soil mix in there, our goal for our soil layer inside here is to get it above the ridges, probably at that second to next to last little line. So we'll keep it below the outside rim, but really about at that second line there, the first or second line soil layer. The tree is also going to kind of tell you of how deep it should be planted. So we if we look at each individual one, we can kind of see where there's a little bit of changes in the color from the bark. So we see this side up here is kind of a lighter, not quite as orangey color. We get down to where it was under the soil and definitely orangey, and then kind of right at that barrier level, we'll see a little bit of a change. And we'll also see these little buds. So each of these buds will potentially be a leaf or a stem. And so we want to make sure our soil layer, when we planted these things, we're not covering up those buds, but we're not also so high that we're exposing roots as well. So the benefit of these really deep pots are really going to help us get these things deep. So like even this one, a little more shallow. These were essentially sitting right on the bottom of the pot, and that's not giving it enough space to really continue growing that taproot and growing other fibrous roots around it. So we're looking kind of for that natural line of where things are. Each tree is going to be a little bit different. Some may have a little more fibrous roots on top than others. Some may have more of the fibrous roots on the bottom. Perfectly fine, however those are. And we'll just kind of get that soil layer to right about that level at each one. If you think you got it too deep, you can always kind of reset or kind of lift it out of there gently. If it's too shallow, you might have to, dump the pot and reset that way as well.
And show us that one that you said we didn't look so good again, so we'll know what we should plant.
So some of these, so like especially this one, more than likely what happened is, so in the nursery world where they're doing a lot of these trees that are prepared for bare roots, they just throw out hundreds of thousands of seeds of acorns, and sometimes they get overlapped. So most likely this one had another one, something sitting on top of it. You get kind of this funky root growth here. This is the tap root, where if you kind of follow it, it's going out, but then it's circling back around and down. It is basically already grown into itself here, which usually isn't a problem. But what could happen is this could start kind of girdling itself. And so I think it might be a problem. We'll still pot it, but it won't be a priority to pot one that looks like that, just because it's potentially gonna kill itself essentially.
Should we put some sort of designation on it to let you know it's not?
We'll pot them in a different pot, so that it won't look like this, but we'll have it in a different pot.
We're gonna have these thinking I don't need anything at the grocery store, so.
Okay, we're good then.
And I've got food going to waste at home, so I
All
don't
right.
need to eat out again. I ate out. Yes, I had a hot dog yesterday. I went to Dave's Dogs.
Dave's Dogs. Where is that?
He was right in front of. He was across from catty corner from a Little Red Church,
Oh, okay.
and it's his first week.
I have not heard of him.
Pretty good. Well, he's just started. I asked him.
I have that other dog, hot dog place, and I don't care for it.
Well, he has their one of those really good hot dogs.
Hebrew National?
No, that's what I buy. But this was
Like the ballpark Frank things?
that's not it either.
Oh, the famous New York one.
Nathan's?
Nathan's.
Nathan's hot
They
dogs.
were Nathan's.
Yeah, I like the Nathan's.
Yeah, that's what I usually buy when I buy them.
And
Am I getting filmed?
he's got he's
Uh-huh.
got coleslaw. He's got chili. He's got. He even has a hamburger shaped in a hot dog bun, whatever that is. You know. So he was nice. And I didn't get ptomaine poison, so I guess I'm okay.
I guess you are.
We have
We enjoy ourselves and have a good time talking. Y'all come join us on Friday mornings at 9 o'clock at the Native Plant Nursery at Turkey Creek Nature Preserve. We really would enjoy y'all coming and visiting and joining our efforts. Plant sales coming up every Saturday in April. Mark your calendar. Get ready to help. Come join.